with this person. I was like, hey, you kind of did this thing and it hurt our feelings, whatever. And then they went off on me.
Oh, and that tells you everything. You're like,
and I was like, oh, blah, blah, blah,
yeah, fuck
right?
you, blah, blah, blah.
And then we get the text and it's the worst case scenario. And I was like, all right, good to know. But also the fact that I knew exactly what the worst case scenario
Shane was shitting you, but
I did see this one.
yeah, it didn't seem like it applied to you because
Well, it definitely applied to me, but I also I think he's better off not giving interviews because I think when you don't give an interview, you could be like, you know what, this person probably changed. You know what I mean? Like the less they talk, the better. He doesn't talk about drama, but just like seeing him talk about stuff and even his own cancellation, I'm like, wait, he's kind of like lacks a lot of self-awareness,
You're very ready for some piping hot tea? Good morning everyone. In today's video, I'm going a bit out of my comfort zone by covering some Shane Dawson and Trisha Paytas drama. During a recent interview, Shane dropped a story about an old friend and how they would just pop off at the smallest thing. They didn't really give any names, but of course, people connected the dots and she knew it was Trisha, which even she herself believes is the case. A drama channel by the name of Skeleton made a pretty good video about this, so let's watch it and review this tea itself.
Y'all, it has been so damn long since we talked about Shane Dawson up on this channel. I am trying my hardest, okay, to not surround my channel with just Brianna Olsen, 2K, and Ash Trevino. I am really trying my hardest, but I gotta keep it with you guys. As I was, y'all, okay, so you guys didn't know, that's why I always wear the same clothes for 1 week is because I pre-film my videos for the week. So
to be fair, so do I. If you guys watch my past 6 videos, same champion fucking sweatshirt. I don't care. I can't say
daily
much.
upload schedule. And I was going through my videos to film for the week this week, and I was like, I don't have an Ash Trevino video. It made me kind of sad because there are several things that I do want to talk about, but I'm trying my hardest to not burn you guys out with Ash Trevino videos, okay? I'm like, let me talk about other things other than Ash Trevino. And if you guys have been on my channel for a hot minute, Shane Dawson was always a topic of conversation. Y'all, I don't know if I ever let you guys know this on video, but
I'm wondering about it, because of Trisha Paytas real quick. I haven't seen her in a hot minute.
On live. Y'all know that we went to middle school together? Isn't that a trip? Talk about some tea right there. We both went to DeMille Middle School in Long Beach, California.
Did you actually?
Anyways, y'all.
Connection.
If you guys didn't know, there has been some ongoing, I wouldn't necessarily say beef between Trisha Paytas and Shane Dawson, but they obviously don't talk anymore because of, some situations that have came up before, which I think...
Now, to be fair, FYI, for your knowledge, I barely know the most recent drama between each other. So I'm like a fresh canvas in this, whatever this guy says, I'll take it.
It's really sad because I had seen before and I followed along Trisha Paytas.
But also, as well, I'm a good subject for this because I don't like either of those. The most I'm more open is Trisha Paytas, but ever since I watched her in Frenemies, was that it? With her and Ethan. Ever since then, I barely remember her.
Journey and Shane Dawson.
No, she was probably that she was probably that drama with what was her name? Rosanna Pansino and Tana Mojo. Yeah, she dipped into it for a bit, but aside from that, I don't know anything else.
Journey. And I do have to say this, I feel like I've watched Shane Dawson's videos for so many years, and I feel like he's always loved and admired Trisha Paytas, and I feel like they always had a good friendship, and then it's as soon as something popped up, damn, it just went down south really, really fast, and things like that make me sad because y'all know that I really do cherish my friendships, and I look at my friendships as family, and work that shit out.
In my opinion, you probably ought not see your favorite YouTubers as friends. Most people in this industry, right, they don't really get along that well with each other. They'll be friendly on camera, but aside from that, outside, if there's a tiny bump in the road, they would just break off immediately.
You guys have been friends for so long, work it out. Don't just cut it off and call it ends that fast, especially when you don't have some type of mediation, you know what I'm saying? And it just makes me sad because I do think at the end of the day, friends are an extension of your family, and I do think that sometimes your friends treat you better than your family. So
please never believe your YouTube friends as your actual family. That would be chaos. Holy shit.
It's so easy to cut off friends but not their family. Do you know what I'm saying? Especially when that friend has been closer to you than your family. You get what I'm saying? And Trisha Paytas before has always said oh, she doesn't really have that many friends and whatnot. So I kind of was sad, that they had broke things off, and I just feel like there was a lot of unknowns behind the scenes of exactly what went down. Well, recently Shane Dawson went onto a podcast and he is, alluding to some people that he was going through some situations with. And I'm gonna be honest with you guys, before even playing the clips from this podcast, this is where I kind of get a little bit irritated about situations like this and people like Shane Dawson, because it's just kind of why don't you just keep it real and say their name? I think that people try their hardest to not be messy and like, oh, you know what, let me not say no names. But then I think that you make things more difficult because obviously somebody like Shane Dawson, he's worked with so many people before on YouTube. He's collaborated with so many other YouTubers. He's, you know, obviously considered a lot of other people very close friends to him. And this is where I would think that you're going to have a lot of people speculating that it's you. Do you know what I'm saying? So
I get what it means. Yeah, like there are dramas where like somebody, you know, they spill some tea, right, and they give no names, and by sometimes, you know, the fans know exactly who they're talking about, you know, because 2 + 2 logic. But sometimes, you know, there's like collateral where they're like, oh my god, he's talking about this person. It was like some random other person that had nothing to do with the drama.
I feel
Get what it
like
means?
if you're just both public figures,
No, that really is true, right? See, if you're willing to bring up the drama like live on a podcast or whatever, right? Just say their name, you know, save the time for everyone. Because either way, you know, people will feed into that drama, so you know, might as well make it as simple as possible and avoid all that collateral.
just go ahead and call it out. You know what I'm saying? Like, I really do
It's
feel
so
like
fun.
why have people speculate, oh, that it's them or it's a problem with them, rather than you just keeping it real and just saying, you know what, I had this problem with Trisha, because obviously people are going to be like, I think this is about Trisha. And then all people are like, oh my gosh, who's that guy he always used to collab with? Garrett, I think his name was. I don't know too much about him, but
Garrett.
people are speculating that's
Man,
about
what the fuck is
him.
called
You know, like
Garrett?
multiple other people. So that's why I'm like, why would you put that out there? Just go ahead and keep it real. You know what I'm saying? I personally, and this is just me, and maybe you guys are thinking like,
Is this guy recording all in one take? Holy
I'm just a
shit.
messy ass bitch.
No breaths at all in 3
But
minutes.
I feel like whenever it comes down to something, and if I was having some specific issues with people who were also public, and we both have not talked about it for a long time, and clearly there's no reconciliation happening, I don't see that there's a problem of me saying, hey, you know what, I went through this situation with Trisha, and you know what, it just went down south, and it sucks at the way it ended, but here's my side of the story. I don't see anything wrong with that. If you're not out there like bashing the person,
fair
if you're not
enough,
trashing them, and you're just giving your side of the story and giving your perspective, I don't think that that's
Now, with what the guy's saying so far, this makes me believe, like, you know, Trisha made, like, the friendship breakup way more ugly. Like, you know, he's speaking shit about Shane online, you know, so I want to see if that's true.
Do you know what I mean? And I feel like
Like, he's
Trisha
making it
Paytas
sound that way
low-key,
so far.
I feel like she's pretty good at like just saying who it is. Do you know what I mean? Also, speaking of like Trisha Paytas, I know it's been so damn long, but you guys are gonna see that Shane Dawson did actually talk about Jeffree Star too within this podcast, just very briefly though.
Bro, that name, Jeffree Star. Bro, fucking 2016 memory blast.
I
Brain
have to
blast.
say, I still want to see that damn podcast between Trisha Paytas and Jeffree Star. Like, I don't know why she teased it, he teased it, and then they ended up like doing the podcast, and then she just scrapped the whole damn thing. I'm so bothered by that. I am so sorry. Anyways, talking about this whole Shane Dawson situation, I'm going to play a couple clips to where you guys can see where he is talking about some friends and some situations. And of course, the internet got to speculating, which is obviously going to happen, especially when people
your
were
notepads
so
ready?
far invested in
Take
his
some
life
notes.
and his friendship with these certain people because they're also public figures. By the way, please let me know if that's messy of me to say, like, if you're friends with another public figure and you just talk about it, you know what I mean? Yes, it is messy if you're bashing them, throwing shade at them.
No, I think sometimes, you know, like, it's just some people, the chemistry just dies over time, and that's really it, you know. Unless it's like a really, like, you know, messy breakup, like, you know, there's legal trouble via contracts, whatever. I think then, yeah, you probably have to talk about it. Or like, if they're lying about you on Twitter or online, yeah, talk about it. But like, you know, if you don't enjoy being with them anymore, fair enough, you know, like, what can you really
like that.
say?
But if you're-
like drop a quick statement being like, hey, I don't want to do this project anymore, this person, that's fair enough. That's fine enough by
Just
itself.
opening up about your side of the story, please let me know if you guys think that's messy, because even the more that I think about it,
I
like,
feel like, you know, feeling more to that drama, right, will only give the fans more slop, you know, so like make up their own theories, you know, and then like pick a side to antagonize and, you know, fight over.
I would
And that's never good.
almost feel like it's even more wrong that you have people speculating, because now, say for example, if he doesn't talk to Trisha and this guy Garrett and a couple other people who, I don't know if he was like friends with Colleen or whoever, you know what I'm saying, then obviously it sucks for them because they're going to be like, well, is he talking about me? Is he talking about Trisha? Is he talking about Garrett? You know what I'm saying? So let me know your guys' thoughts on that actually before checking out this clip right here, because you guys are obviously going to see that he doesn't like share any names. So go ahead and check it out.
With this person, I was like, hey, you know, you could
Oh,
have
what's this quality? This looks like
did
shit.
this thing and it hurt our feelings, you know, whatever. And then they went off on me.
Oh, and that
You
tells
did-
you everything. You're like,
And I
okay.
was like, oh. okay, this is not the greatest energy. You have some stuff to work on. I think we shouldn't do this anymore together. Like, so, and when that happens, it's like, or if you get a text from somebody and you get a pit in your stomach,
Oh, that's an indicator. Your
This feels so catty.
body's telling you
I don't mind
this
it all
isn't
like
good.
this.
you should probably get out of this. Like,
Yeah.
we had this one person who
Ooh.
I was like trying to be so nice about it. And I was like, I want to be really nice about it and just tell them, hey, this isn't working out.
Like, I want to see, like, like what breadcrumbs does he drop? Do you show that it was Trisha or anybody else? Because so far it sounds like, like just like an actual personal friend who's not online, who's not like an online figure.
And so, I sent it and I was like, worst case scenario, they say, blah, 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 blah,
Yeah. Fuck
right?
you, blah, blah, blah.
And then we get the text and it's the worst case scenario. And I was like, all right, good to know. But also the fact that I knew exactly what the worst case scenario
Yeah, it means that you already kind of
you already knew.
Yeah.
So there you guys saw from the
It does sound like Trisha, bro. Like, bro, if you watch Trisha, like, via the podcast or any other medium, she would be like that kind of crazy character just breaking off from any
those
point.
clips right there.
Like, so most people are like this, like people in this industry. Trisha, Shane, what was oh my god, goddamn, Rosa Benzino. Am I fucking up her name? What you know what I mean? Most people are like that, where they're very catty and very spilling all the tea. Where one bad interaction will upset
He's talking
them.
about certain situations
And
that
just
went down
got a
between him
separate
and a
drama
friend.
from
Obviously,
that.
people were like, this is definitely pertaining to Trisha Paytas. Well, Oscar had brought it up on their podcast, and Trisha was like, okay, he's
But
definitely...
like an actual like domino effect of tea, like Shane brings it up in one podcast, and wait, did other people talk
talking
about this?
me.
No way.
Because obviously she does know what went down behind the scenes, and she does know exactly, what conversation was had. But also, here's this like shitty thing about it, and like this is where I say like, damn, you can't really have people speculating, is because what if this same exact situation happened with him and another friend? That's where things can get really messy. So that's where I'm just kind of like, she obviously is probably like, oh, it's definitely about me. But what if it really wasn't? I'm just saying. Check out this clip right here.
thing I had was everyone was tagging me in that one
Who's
clip
this
of
guy?
Shane and the Katie therapist podcast saying Shane was shitting you. But
I did see this one.
yeah.
No,
What do
boy.
you think about it?
I love. I'm sorry. I love her voice. It's so annoying. It's like the right kind of. It's the right kind of annoying where it doesn't like actually make you annoyed at her, but it sticks out like a sore
My
thumb.
interpretation was it
Like you could hear her from an audience full of
didn't
people.
seem like it applied to you because
Well, it definitely applied to me, but I
Oh my god, dude.
also it definitely was about me.
you think? Oh, okay.
Wait, hold on. I'm sorry. Is her entire fucking setup just about her? You have hold on. Just Trish, a poster of
One
Trish,
clip I saw
Okay.
a T on her microphone,
was very that.
another poster. Oh my god, it's
I love that the
everywhere.
preface of very much like
It's a madhouse.
not an influencer. It's like, Shane, you have no friends that aren't influencers. Like every friend you have, you turn into an influencer. Whether that was
okay.
remember Cat Sketch, like Shauna, like anyone who was.
Like that breaks down, my theory. That was it's talking about a non-public friend.
That's just a friend. You turn into an influencer. Like he even talks about Jenny Craig days, his friends making videos. So like him prefacing me like it's not influencer. Okay, it's not influencer. It's like when I had a friend who was like went to Cheesecake Factory and I never thought she was like, okay, we get it. We know, you know what I mean? Like he's so funny that way because he loves to.
I feel like from what I'm seeing so far, she's pissed off.
What
Is
is
still
it? Like spill a little tea, but like not
This tea.
take any accountability for it. Just like I'm gonna spill some tea, but like it's no one you know. But it's like every story
And
he
you
told.
did preface this isn't tea. So,
It's literally tea because you were everywhere, Shane. This is why he doesn't do podcast. But like, because there was a clip too that could have been about Andrew or Garrett. There's definitely also it could pertain to a lot of people because Shane was I don't know him now. Obviously, he could be totally different. I do believe people change. I do believe parenthood changes people.
Wait, parent? You say parent? Wait, hold on, go back a second. You say parent?
I do believe people change. I do believe parenthood changes people.
He's a parent? Oh my god.
Not
Clap, I
didn't change his
guess,
accountability
fair
though. Still takes zero accountability.
When the fuck was he? This is news to me.
It's so funny to watch
My
him in an
brain's
interview
opening
because you
on
do think
this
like
video.
right. I think he's better off not giving interviews because I think when you don't give an interview, you could be like, you know what, this person probably changed. You know what I mean? Like the less they talk, the better. He doesn't talk about drama, but just like seeing him talk about stuff and even his own cancellation, I'm like, wait, he's kind of like lacks a lot of self awareness, which was kind of it. I don't
This
know.
feels
Y'all,
really
I am so
catty.
sorry that clip was completely chopped up right there because, y'all, I completely forgot that I saved that clip and it was 9 minutes long from TikTok. If you guys are interested,
Never. You are an actual like the worst user ever, the worst poster ever. If you post a 9 minute long clip from TikTok,
I got
on
that clip
TikTok,
right there from Spill Some Tea with
holy
Me on
shit.
TikTok, or you guys can just check out Trisha Paytas' podcast. But obviously, as you guys saw from
Oh,
right there, she was
no.
even saying like, oh, Shane Dawson is kind of funny in that way, like oh, it's not an influencer. Oh, but I have a friend like this, and it's kind of like, okay, we know what you're getting at over here, so just like go ahead and keep it real. Also, I have to say this too. And it's because I'm a messy bitch. I would love to see like Shane Dawson on Trisha Paytas' podcast and like vice versa. You know what I'm saying? Because I just
I
think
would
it would be-
enjoy that. I feel no. I'm gonna be honest. It was like what the last T drama. I was listening to or watching was the Rose Benzino and Tana Mojo stuff, and I think it works better when they're not there in person because they get like more savage about each other. When they're off podcast. If they're in the same room, it would be way more friendly, and that's fine, whatever. But I want the real
really
tea
cool
stuff.
to see what
That's what I
exactly
want.
happened and both of their perspectives play out. Because obviously all of the viewers are like, well, what really went down, and was it really so bad that you guys had to stop being friends over this? And also too, like Trisha Paytas has said multiple times, like obviously now Shane Dawson is a parent, she's a parent, like a lot has happened within their personal life, and I think that they have learned, grown, and changed. And I really do think that
Always is a story about the text message from years ago, or was it more recent?
sucks that sometimes people
I guess it's like an old story being brought up now, like
hold
relitigated.
grudges so much, or people are so prideful, you know what I mean, to reach out to a person and just have a conversation. Because honestly, y'all, when so many years go by, I really do think that people really learn, change, and grow. And say, for example, if you had a friend out there who did a little something wrong and that bothered you, and 3 years had went by, like, what if they completely changed that? What if they acknowledged it, changed it, and were like, okay, moving on. But then they're like, oh, I don't want to hit this person up because they're not going to want to hear from me. And
Are
vice
they even
versa.
friends now? Are they still doing collabs? Trisha and Shane? I guess no, definitely not. No way. But I don't know. If it's like a really old story, like an old drama, I don't see why it should be recorrected, re-archived now, the present.
This is where I say,
It seems very minor,
like,
at all.
it sucks that life goes by when it.
I think the Tana and the Rose Benzino stuff was so much worse, right? Like that was so giving a bad experience, and Rosanna just crying over it. That was much worse. In this one, it sounds very minor. I mean, they're not connected at all. But in the by proxy of T drama, that one was way more interesting. Because it was way more recent. This one sounds very ancient.
It's like, damn, who
In my mind, if it's older than 1 year, it's ancient.
really to say that
It
we
is,
could
to
have
be
been
fair.
friends all along, and like, oh damn, this issue would have been squashed
It's
all
not
along.
deep,
So
it's
that's why I'm
cold.
like, damn, it sucks. I was going to play the other clip to where he was talking about Jeffree Star, but then I watched it back and I'm like, literally all he says within there is that like he created these documentaries because he wanted to show people that, hey, these people that
Oh
you
my
think
god, he made documentaries, that's right. Holy shit. The only one I remember was the Jake or Logan Paul one where he called him a psycho.
are like
That was the
villains
only
are not
one.
really
Oh my god, I
that
forgot,
bad of
yeah.
people. Obviously, as you guys saw before, he did it with Tana. He did it with, I think he did it with like Logan Paul. Well, Logan Paul or Jake Paul, one of the Paul brothers. And obviously, he showed it
The same thing I just said, oh my
different side
god.
of all these people.
We're the
I gotta
same
say, I wish he
brainwave-
would bring that back.
brainwaves.
That's just my personal opinion. I really did like these, whole little docu-series because I kind of viewed it as like Netflix, but then for YouTube, you know what I'm saying? And I'm curious to know though, because obviously he did mention Jeffree specifically. I'm curious to know how their friendship is because y'all, they don't see each other like at all. It's my opinion, okay? Because I am so sorry.
Oh, that is super funny, right? Mostly people live in LA, in Burbank, or some part of LA, right? And they barely speak with each other, they barely come in contact. It's a big city, but it's so funny, having drama with each other, right? A bit of drama, and they're so close together. Most dramas are international. One person in America, one person in Europe. But when they're both in LA, in Burbank, whatever,
I just gotta say
way
this.
more awkward.
I feel like when it comes down to Jeffree, I feel like, he does not really keep friends very long. And I feel like a lot of the people that he has in his life, it just goes away. You know what I'm saying? So
I can't say much because I remember Jeffree Star having his own drama. I'm by drama I mean way more shitty behavior stuff. I remember there was a controversy, where his makeup was too expensive or whatever. But it wasn't a situation where he was a really bad friend or person to somebody.
I almost feel
It's until I remember that knowledge, I'm not gonna make any comment about his character.
that something happened
'Cause
between
I don't wanna
them,
speak.
and I feel like he's probably a little too scared to speak out about it or say anything bad because I think that he knows that Jeffree Star is very, very spiteful, and I think that he will just, take it to the internet and be super messy. But I don't know why, for some reason, I've really speculated this for a couple years now, that they don't really have the friendship that they both say that they have anymore. That's my little, speculation over here. Obviously, I don't know behind the scenes, but obviously we know with Jeffree Star, it's like, damn, he like no longer friends with Nikita, with Manny MUA, with Gabriel Zamora, with Laura Lee, like all these damn people. It's like, whoa, like, clearly the common denominator is him. I'm just saying. That's, just my little opinion over here. Anyways, make sure you guys let me know your thoughts and opinions about everything.
My thoughts are that it seems very minor. Like going to this video, I expected like some more stuff. I mean, if it was like a small story that now they're bringing up now in the present, it's not that severe. Like I was expecting in this video much worse stuff. Like Shane slandering Trisha, but so far not that bad. I mean. And so far, it ended the stage of, Trish responding. And like once it goes into there, it might be like a ping pong fight, where he responds, she responds, where he responds, back and forth over like 10 times. And if that happens, I might cover this again, because it's not so interesting right now, but in the future it'll get better, more engaging, But if that happens, I'll watch it again, I'll watch some more stuff made from this same guy. Shout out to Skeleton. That's a good video. But apart from not so bad, but I wish it was a bit more interesting. That's all I'll say. But thank you guys for watching. I'll see you in the next drama if it escalates between Shane Dawson and Trisha Paytas, potentially.